cast too, isn't it?
Actually, the Puffs is all 14 and up.
Okay.
So the original show was written by Matt Cox, and it was written for a bunch of adults. So I was back and forth. I was like, okay, so which edition of the show do we do?
So did you have to edit it?
Well, actually, the writer did that for us.
Uh-huh.
So there are like 3 or 4 different scripts you can get for this show. There's 1-act versions, there's 2-act versions. What we're doing is called the Young Wizards Edition, which is more family friendly. Think more rated PG if you were watching it in a movie theater. So it cuts out all the F-bombs that were in the original show.
That's good.
That was a lot of them. But yeah, it was a bunch of like 30
So
somethings on stage.
it's Harry Potter
show.
themed, right?
It is Harry Potter themed. We can't use the words Harry and Potter together in the show because of a copyright issue, but because
but
how they got around.
I'm just asking, so I don't know.
Yes.
All I've seen is the promotional stuff you've done,
Right?
And it looked like it's like based on the schools or whatever they're in.
It is. It's based
the
on
houses they're in. Yeah.
So the Puffs is the story of the Hufflepuffs. So what happened, the Hufflepuffs were one of the houses we didn't see as often in the movies, or if you're reading the books, they didn't get as much spotlight. Like the Gryffindors got all the credit. You had the Slytherins that come in because, those characters were evil. And then the Ravenclaws that were super smart, that would always come up with the answers, But the Puffs got little to nothing until we got to year 4 with Cedric Diggory. Cedric Diggory dies in the Triwizard Tournament.
Well, you've ruined it for me now. So.
That's one of those really old spoilers that if you don't
It's
know
a
about
really
now.
old spoiler. Okay, then he goes on to become a vampire in Twilight, right? And then he becomes Batman. So
Oh, was it?
Because it was Robert Pattinson that
Robert
played him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't know that I've seen all the Harry Potter movies.
you may not have.
I read the books. 3 or 4 of the books I read them back. They came out years and years ago.
They did.
And my kids were little, but I remember reading the books. But anyway, I don't remember those specific. That's interesting. That I didn't realize there was the Robert Pattinson connection on it. Okay. And I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. It was Hufflepuff until you said that it's called Puffs.
It is.
So is it a comedy?
It is a comedy.
Okay.
It's, in my opinion, I chuckle every night in rehearsals. I mean, even at the same parts each time, the cast does such a good job of, bringing forth the humor that's in the script itself that in some spots we just ad-lib, and they have myself and my stage manager, Deborah, we're rolling upstairs in the tech room.
Are the so tell us about some of the cast members, like who are the standouts here?
So we have David Fox is our lead. He plays Wayne Hopkins, which is who this show is mostly based around. So Wayne is he goes in and he's like, suddenly he's going to a school of magic. So clearly he's special, and that means he's going to be like the most important person like in the world. In fact, it's in the script. And so, we find all these things that keep happening to him, and it's like, okay, well, I've got to go stop this troll that's in the dungeon. Well, Harry, stop the troll. And then there's the giant snake, which is the basilisk. Oh, well, then Harry, stop the basilisk. And then, so forth. But David, when we get to year 5, David has befriended Cedric. And Cedric is such a big part of David's life. He looks up to him. And, of course, we all know, if you've seen in the movies, if you've read the books, Cedric dies. Well, the very next year, David's character, Wayne, spirals out of control because he has just lost this one person he's looked up to. It's like, oh, well, if Cedric can't even be, the most famous Puff, what chance do I have? So, and then David does such a wonderful job portraying Wayne. I mean, I don't think I could have cast that any better. It's almost as if the role was written for him. But year 5, David takes this character from here to here, and that's something I have you rarely see on stage in local productions that's done as well as he's doing this. And I've worked with David on Matilda before this show, so it was kind of exciting to see him grow as an actor.